Whenever Lamar Jackson steps onto the field, the atmosphere changes. Defenders become more focused. Fans pause in anticipation. The unexpected turns into routine. He doesn't only play the quarterback role, he redefines it. His speed is like a receiver, his vision is like a running back, and his fearlessness transforms flawed plays into flashes of brilliance. From MVP to record breaker, his achievements have approached the threshold of history. However, once the postseason begins, something changes. The rhythm breaks. The highlights start to slow down, and the exit arrives sooner than expected. Despite the praise, the victories, and the awe, the questions have only increased. Why haven't the Ravens made it to the Super Bowl yet? What happens to Lamar Jackson when the pressure is greatest? It's not just a story about missed opportunities. It is a closer look at one of football's most vibrant talents, and why, despite all the greatness, the breakthrough hasn't come yet. When Lamar Jackson announced at the 2018 draft, "They're gonna get a Super Bowl out of me, believe that," he was setting up an atmosphere that challenged the skepticism regarding his selection as the 32nd pick. He was labeled as too raw and a running back pretending to be a quarterback. Many encouraged him to transition to receiver or claimed he would never comfortably deliver from the pocket. However, nothing from draft night held significance once he reached Baltimore. During his first season, he took on the starting role and produced thrilling highlights. By 2019, Jackson shattered all the predictions about him. He scored 36 touchdowns, rushed for over 1,200 yards, became the MVP, and led the Ravens to many record wins. After winning the MVP, he thanked God and his teammates from the Ravens. "I want to thank God first and foremost because he's the reason I'm good now. There's been a lot of doubt going on about me being a running back, a receiver, stuff like that. That came when I got to the lead, and I had a great group of guys, great organization with me on the Ravens." That same player, previously undervalued, was guiding a team into the playoffs with remarkable superiority. Then, in the divisional round, the story changed. Even with over 300 yards passing, turnovers, and stalling drives, the team didn't win. They lost in a 28-12 defeat against Tennessee. The question that had echoed since draft day, can this dynamic player excel under the biggest pressure, resurfaced once again. The gap between regular season brilliance and playoff achievement had surfaced. Still, the answer remained unclear. Lamar Jackson's postseason stats tell a different story from his regular season. In the 2019 regular season, he scored 265 completed passes, 401 pass attempts, and rushed for 3,128 yards. But in the postseason, he scored just 31 completed passes, 59 pass attempts, and rushed for 365 yards. Then in 2020, he played 15 games with 26 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 99.3 passer rating. But again, in the postseason, he could play only 2 games with 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 68.1 passer rating. He talked about the pressure of big games in an interview. "Yes, I'm just too excited, that's all. I'm too antsy, that's all. I'm seeing things before it happens, like I have to calm myself down." That self-awareness hasn't completely converted into performance. Turnovers and inconsistent throws have become defining features of the playoffs. In a recent defeat against the Buffalo Bills, his anger erupted during a post-game press conference. "In the first half, I had 2 costly turnovers. Me not holding the safety, me just ignoring the coverage, me knowing it was through a BS interception. Every time we are in a situation like this, turnovers play a factor. Penalties play a factor. Tonight, it was the turnovers. We can't have shit. That's why we lost the game." In his overall career, he has played just 8 postseason games with 146 completed passes, 241 attempts, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and an 84.6 passer rating. These stats diverge sharply from those of the regular season. This contrast between the regular season excellence and playoff mistakes lies at the core of this question. Why does a player who is so dynamic throughout the season somehow fade when it truly matters? Whenever the Ravens cannot perform in the postseason, the discussion inevitably goes back to Lamar Jackson. Is it his fault? At first glance, the statistics aren't in his favor. He has more interceptions than touchdowns during playoff matches, along with several turnovers in critical situations. But blaming him is not that simple. Jackson's approach is aggressive. It thrives on improvisation. open areas, and quickness. However, during the playoffs, those windows close faster. Defenses become sharper, containment becomes more rigid, and suddenly, Lamar is forced to win from the pocket more often than usual. Critics frequently highlight his ball security in crucial matches. In 6 playoff starts, Jackson has committed 9 turnovers resulting from forced passes, unexpected hits, and misjudged plays. However, there's more to consider. Baltimore's offensive character has rarely been designed to support a comeback. When down by double digits, Lamar is forced into a drop-back heavy game that doesn't play to his strengths. And then, the blame game starts. The Ravens' offense in the regular and postseason. The Ravens have created one of the most distinctive offensive systems in modern football. Under previous offensive coordinator Greg Roman, the unit relied heavily on the ground game, emphasized tight ends, and aimed to maximize Lamar Jackson's rushing skills. During the regular season, they were a nightmare for defenses. Baltimore's identity was characterized by its ability to control the clock, maintain possession, and exhaust opponents. However, in January, that identical system began to appear different. When you get to the playoffs, you've got to be able to throw the ball, said NFL analyst Dan Orlovsky. In playoff defeats from 2019 to 2023, the Ravens fell behind quickly and had difficulty in making adjustments. Without a vertical passing threat, rivals just overloaded the box and challenged Lamar to throw deep. For years, Baltimore did not have a real number 1 wide receiver. Hollywood Brown was inconsistent. Rashad Bateman was unable to maintain his health. Sammy Watkins served as a temporary solution. Even tight end Mark Andrews, despite his reliability, couldn't stretch the field alone. The protection didn't help either. The offensive line failed in crucial matches, particularly against top pass rushers. Lamar needed to be a hero amidst crumbling pockets. The plan itself constrained him. Against top defenses, Greg Roman's offense made insufficient adjustments. Not enough checkdowns, lack of pace, and insufficient confidence in Jackson's passing ability. In 2023, things began to change under new OC Todd Monken, with the arrival of rookie standout Zay Flowers and a more modernized system. But the damage from the past remained. Baltimore created a device that excelled in September, only to falter when January required a different approach. John Harbaugh, the head coach of the Ravens, is a proven winner. Yet in the postseason, even top coaches can make costly mistakes. In 2019, the Ravens charged into the playoffs with a record of 14-2. However, after trailing early against the Titans, Baltimore panicked, abandoning the run and demanding Lamar Jackson to throw 59 passes. In 2020, Taron Johnson's 101-yard interception return in the red zone dashed their dreams against Buffalo. The strategy seemed inflexible, predictable, and simple to interpret. In the 2024 AFC Championship against Kansas City, the offense showed no urgency. Time escaped as the Ravens proceeded carefully while being behind. These were not merely mistakes by the players. They were coaching choices, uncertain ones that failed to adjust when everything was on the line. In those moments, Baltimore wasn't defeated by opponents, they defeated themselves. All top quarterbacks in the AFC have the same nightmare. The one who wears the number 15 and plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Since 2018, Mahomes has stood in the way of every emerging talent: Allen, Burrow, Herbert, and currently Lamar Jackson. Despite all of Lamar's skill and development, he has stepped into a playoff era dominated by a historic dynasty. The 2024 AFC Championship was meant to be Lamar's opportunity. He was a top seed. He had an MVP. But Mahomes and the Chiefs put an end to it. We are mad. Offense, we didn't put nothing on the board. We scored once. That's not like us. We drove the ball down the field. That's cool, but we go to put points on the board, he said in a post-match press conference. Jackson threw an interception in the red zone, and the Ravens could only manage 10 points in a game where the Chiefs were scoreless in the second half. The moment slipped through Baltimore's hands. In various aspects, this isn't about Lamar's falling short. It's about Mahomes excelling at an extraordinary level. He has changed the criteria for success in the AFC. For Lamar, each playoff journey involves confronting not only his own limitations, but also the top quarterback of this era. And so far, no one has found the solution. Lamar Jackson's difficulties in the playoffs have not just been physical. They have also involved mental pressure. During the 2022 wildcard match against the Titans, he exited early due to a concussion, marking his first absence in the postseason. That injury disrupted momentum and brought up concerns regarding his endurance during critical moments. The psychological and emotional strain has also shown up on screen. As his last season came to a close, the dominant narrative shifted. He's MVP, but can he succeed when it counts the most? Media coverage, discussions, and online platforms emphasized his postseason performance, resilience, and judgment. This external pressure can drain anyone, no matter how capable he is. Amid injuries, emotional strain, and harsh media environments, Lamar is fighting against more than just rival defenses. He's fighting against the narrative. Lamar Jackson's journey in football has been electric. However, if he aims to silence the skeptics and transform his playoff legacy, genuine changes must occur. He has already shown significant progress in understanding coverages and using touch throws. However, in the playoffs, it's all about maintaining consistency when facing pressure. Accuracy has to be automatic, especially late in the game. With Todd Monken, the offense is finally expanding. Zay Flowers offers speed. Mark Andrews continues to serve as a reliable safety net. However, Baltimore requires additional support. Another real outside threat, more dynamic route combinations, and a tempo that remains steady when trailing. A single turnover during the playoffs frequently determines the outcome. Securing the ball, gliding as requested, and controlling pace all must be considered. Lamar thrives on improvisation. During crucial playoff moments, the coaching team should rely on his instincts rather than overly controlling the game. The tools are there. The experience is developing. The window is still open. However, the league won't wait forever. If Lamar desires his name etched into the Hall of Champions, these adjustments must take place immediately. Lamar Jackson is among the most thrilling athletes in football. He's quick, clever, and difficult to stop. But in the postseason, he hasn't finished the job. Fans are still waiting. The pressure is still growing, and the same question will keep coming back until he wins it all.